This is a special agenda of Public Business Commission of Nevada. And the designated commission is Agenda 20-14. Present in Carson City.
Rebecca Wagner.
Dave Noble.
And I'm Lynn Burton, Sean, Las Vegas. Item 1A is time for comments from the general public on topics that pertain to items on this agenda. I have items, I have cards in the Las Vegas office. I'm presuming you have cards in the Carson City office.
I do.
You go ahead and read the information then. The commission welcomes comment from all persons. However, please recognize the commission receives evidence through a formal process. The hearings or investigations for all matters that we discussed at this agenda have been conducted in direct orders memorandum prepared on the basis of the record created at the hearing on the final results of staff's investigations. The commission appreciates any feedback from the public. The comments made today cannot be treated as formal evidence. Members of the public desiring to comment, please state your name on the record. Comments shall only address topics that are relevant to or within the authority of the commission. Speakers shall not repeat prior comments made during this agenda. Comments shall limit to 3 minutes per speaker, and speakers allowed 3 minutes shall not be transferred to another speaker, and when the 3 minutes has ended, the individual can stop speaking. Why don't we go up north first, Commissioner Wagner?
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Mr. Kidd?
Oops.
Good morning. Bruce Kiddis, Carson City. Commissioners, thank you for having permitted me to have an analog meter. So I have comfort in that. Just a few questions. Will the investigation, assuming that you approve it, result in conclusive fixes? Probably not. Will the investigation lead to another investigation? Probably yes. Will there have to be more fire incidents to get to the truth? Probably yes. The meter manufacturer, Census, probably has all the answers. They didn't pay $47 million to SAS Power. They know the answers. I believe my personal opinion, having been in the housing business, is that there's a multitude of home wiring out there, and I believe there's a compatibility issue with the meter and some homes. How do you test for it? I don't know. The universal fix today is to simply put on an analog meter. And I think the sooner that NV Energy at least addresses that and offers the analog meter to those people who are concerned, and at no charge, probably the less costly it will be for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kidd. Chairman, those are the only comment cards that I have.
I have Ms. DeFazio.
Angel DeFazio, we realize that this agenda is just a pro forma and it will be approved. The questions remaining are, the PUC claims to be a quasi-judicial body. NAC 703.105, Section 1, to the extent that any action before the Commission is not covered. Subsection 3, by these provisions, the Commission may follow the applicable rule in NRCP. Are they going to treat this under NRCP 36A as a request for production of documents and use that standard 30 days to comply? Or are they going to use, which I highly suggest, their favorite phrase of in the public interest, and cite NAC 704.0097 and 703.115, subsection 1. Good cause for the deviation appears. Subsection 2, the commission finds that deviation is in the public interest and not contrary to statute. To get this moved more quickly, as NVE has known about this since September 23rd, according to Tony Sanchez, NVE is already pulling the information and legal is looking into all their options. So there's no need for 60 days since they've already had about a month. If there was ever an appropriate time to use NAC 704.0097 and 703.115, it's now. You are obligated to provide for safe delivery. Now our concerns are showing you did not provide this under NRS 704.001, subsection 3. Give them 15 days, consider it analogous to an OST under NAC 704.0097, subsections 1 and 3. If it was your home or relative who suffered, you would act expeditiously. So give those who have suffered the same consideration. If these weren't initially approved, we wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be known to everyone, but you did, we are, and now we are on this with more fervor because of fires and the death. Welcome to the anti-spark meter movement, part 2. Thank you.
Thank you. Stebbins?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. My name is Tim Stebbins, and I live in Henderson. And I'm here speaking on agenda item 3A concerning the metering process. In my case, I pay over $100 a year more in order to do what I think is in the best interest of protecting my family and property. And that's because this commission ordered that I must do that. And I think the issue of determining the health or the safetiness from both a health viewpoint and from a physical structure viewpoint is an extremely important issue. And I hope this commission will address the matter very seriously. And I hope, as it was mentioned earlier by the gentleman up there in Carson City, that the resolution can be for any homeowner to be sure that they protect themselves if they feel that is important by having an analog meter at no extra charge. Thank you very much.
Joyce Hazard?
Good morning, Commissioners. I agree with Angel that we need to go for the 15 days, knowing that Nevada Energy is already working on their information. And I agree with Bruce that this one investigation probably won't be the end of it, because I really feel that when you have an entity investigating themselves, I don't think it comes out real well. In other words, I really think we need some kind of third party to help with this investigation, because we know that there's a lot of information about how dangerous the meters are, that it just doesn't seem to me like Nevada Energy is going to come out and say, oh yeah, you know, we're really sorry, we've had all these meters malfunction and burn out, and we've replaced them, even though the homeowner doesn't know if they've really not been there or it hasn't been too extensive, you know, admit on themselves how bad the meters are. So I'm asking that we also get some kind of third party to get the real information on how bad the meters have really been and how much damage that they've really done. Because again, this is a very, it's a safety issue, and being proactive now would hopefully stem off, you know, future people dying or their house or just losing their houses. I mean, it's bad enough to die, but, I mean, just think if your house went up with everything in it, because, you know, right, because we didn't want to totally investigate and do the right thing with the smart meter. I mean, think about it, and how would you like it if your house went up because you got the smart meter safe, because everybody tells you it is, but it really isn't. So my concern is that somehow, how do we get the correct information on how much damage these smart meters have really done? So I guess that's where I'm at today. I'm just don't trust Nevada Energy to do the thorough investigation, so I'd like some kind of third party to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hazard. Mr. Hazard?
Mike Hazard, Las Vegas, Nevada. On May 25th, 2010, smart grid engineer and AMI project manager Don Baker filed a lawsuit with the U.S. Attorney's Office in Birmingham, Alabama against Census Smart Meters and Alabama Power. Even though the lawsuit was not filed for smart meter electrical fires, what he said in the lawsuit certainly turned out to be very prophetic. I quote, "Mr. Baker became aware that the Census Icon A smart meter, which is what we have here in Nevada, was not properly tested and was seriously flawed. Among other issues, Mr. Baker discovered that the Icon A had a tendency to drastically overheat and melt or burn. When Mr. Baker raised these issues with Census Management and Alabama Power project managers, he was told to be quiet. He was eventually terminated for refusing to do so. This should have been a red flag to PUCs and power companies across the country, and I find it hard to believe that NVE did not know about this and should have acted accordingly. Instead, they sent a huge grant to UNR Nevada. And a quote from their website says that the University of Nevada, Reno College of Engineering has received a gift of $250,000 from Nevada Energy to support its renewable energy program. The gift is the first of two in support of the program over the next 2 years, which will total $500,000. This latest gift brings the total to $1.25 million donated to date by Nevada Energy for the university's renewable energy program. They took testing results from that and put it in their NV Energized FAQs, which says the University of Nevada, Reno conducted independent lab tests on a sample of meters. All tests show that smart meters meet American National Standards Institute for accuracy. Well, what about safety testing? Where are those results? Where are the standards that they use for safety testing? And how can laboratory tests under these conditions be valid? What university is going to turn down money like that and give a negative test result? The key word here is independent. Giving a gift for a service rendered to safety to satisfy a regulatory requirement is not an independent or even a valid test result. What was the short circuit testing protocol used by UNR, and where is that documentation? What are the existing meter sockets designed to withstand the physical impact of the electrical switching mechanism installed inside the census meter when Nevada Energy does a turn off or turn on? Where are those testing results, data sheets, and documentation stating that they're safe under those conditions? This is all information and more that needs to be requested and made public. We know that 70,000 smart meters were replaced in Portland, Oregon, 105,000 were replaced in Saskatchewan, Canada, and another 11,000 were replaced in Lakeland, Florida, all due to smart meter fires. We know that smart meter fires have caused fires here in Nevada too, a lot of fires, and now we want answers. Fire officials are concerned in this state, and so are the ratepayers of Nevada Energy. We want an independent third-party investigation that will make public the problems related with census smart meters, and we want those results in 15 to 30 days. We want this cover-up ended now.
Rudy Nelson?
Good morning, my name is Veruda Nelson, Las Vegas. First of all, I'm glad I got the analog meter. I think that everybody who is feels that they are endangered should get one at no cost. My question is, where's the due diligence that the manufacturer of this smart meters has tested for safety and standards, and where are the test results? What about NV Energy? Where is their due diligence? Were they aware of the problem, and when? And if that's the case, why? We find out that they had some of the results and they kept them from us. What is PUC going to do about it? A third party that would handle this matter, I think, should be done quickly before we have some major disaster that's even worse than has happened to date. I've been before this commission a number of times and I said, I hope something doesn't happen that is really bad. Well, I think we're finding the tip of the iceberg. I hope there's not a bigger one that we have not seen under the surface, what has happened between the manufacturer and the energy. Thank you.
That's all the cards in Las Vegas. Let's go ahead and move to item 2A, which is mine. It's docket 14-04039, and it's the investigation rulemaking to evaluate methods for maximizing and allocating benefits of the one Nevada transmission line for Nevada retail electric service customers. What you have in front of you is a report based on the information we deduced coming out of a couple of 3 or 4 procedural orders and 1 workshop. Basically, it doesn't come to any major conclusions, it just identifies the things we think need to be in a filing that the company said they will make to either get this commission's approval for a permanent joint dispatch agreement prior to filing anything with FERC, or decide to consolidate the 2 utilities. And this basically identifies the questions that need to be answered as opposed to the answers themselves. One thing that I did think that came out of this that I thought was pretty important was that the protocols that the company is operating under right now through the interim joint dispatch agreement is essentially the same, a lot of the same accounting protocols would be implemented if they consolidated the 2 utilities. So there seemed to be some sort of disconnect in that understanding that I think we finally fleshed out. And like I said, this doesn't necessarily come to any conclusions other than identifying recommendations for what they need to place in their filing for the commission to review when they make the filing. I do have a couple of modifications on page 1 of the report in the summary section. About the 3rd line up from the bottom of that paragraph, it says either of which would be utilized for allocating. I think in that, those words need to be stricken, and the words, we put a period at the end of utilities, and we put in the language, the report also includes information and recommendations regarding the allocation of capital costs of the online between Bad Power and Sierra for joint long-term planning to realize the remaining benefits of the online. And then the second is on page 13. And I was reading this last night, and the company had mentioned that they would probably maybe be filing in January 2015. But I thought perhaps the best way to go forward with that was just to say, in the recommendation section on page 13, where it says, therefore, is the second sentence, as part of its application in January 2015, I think we just say early 2015. We take out the word January. And with that, I'm here to answer any questions.
I have none.
Okay, I would move we approve the report as filed, adopt the recommendations, wait a minute. I move we approve the report as modified today, adopt the recommendations included in the report as modified today, and issue the order.
Second.
Concur.
Item 3A is brought to us by General Counsel and can be voted on without further discussion unless somebody wants to pull that out for further consideration.
I do not.
I do not.
Okay. I would move that the commission accept the recommendations contained in General Counsel's briefing memo regarding item 3A and issue the appropriate order.
Second.
Concur.
Item 4A is time for comments from the general public on any topic that is jurisdiction of the commission. Are there any members of the public wishing to make a statement in Carson City?
No, coming forward.
I have 2 cards, Mr. Fazio.
First of all, not expediting this investigation was the worst thing you could do. Okay. Angel DeFazio for the NTEF.
Mr. Fazio, that will be up to the presiding officer.
I'm confused.
We can talk about it later. Go ahead.
Okay. Now we are in the NTEF's arena. November 2nd, the 13th report on carcinogenics, which is a congressionally mandated science-based public health document that the NTP prepared for the HHS Secretary. The report identifies agents, substances, mixtures, and exposure circumstances that are known or reasonably anticipated to cause cancer in humans. It is the newest edition of pentachlorophenol, PCP, and its byproducts that the PUC should be concerned with. PCP is a substance reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogenic. PCP is primarily used as a wood preservative in such items as utility poles, railroad ties. It's an organochlorine, a pesticide compound. The byproduct of PCP includes dioxins. The reasons for the inclusion include findings that exposure to this mixture was associated with an increased risk of non-Hodgkin lymphoma in studies in humans and caused tumors in the liver and other organs in mice. September 15th in North Hempstead, New York, they passed a new law requiring warning labels on the utility poles that are treated with the hazardous wood preservative. Their consultants inspected recently installed poles on April 10th and noticed a dark amber color, apparently due to their recent treatment of penta, and a significant chemical odor from at least 15 feet away from at least one of the poles. At some poles, according to the report, there was dark stained soil within mounded soil around the pole or a halo of wet chemical saturated soil within a 4-inch area extending from the pole. Soil samples were taken about 6 inches away from each of the 3 targeted poles on April 11 from a shallow area as well as deeper hole 12 to 18 inches below the grade and tested in a New York State Health Department approved lab. The results indicate that significantly elevated concentration of penta were detected in the soil at both shallow and deep locations at 2 of the 3 poles. So what protection do we have that this carcinogenic chemical is not being distributed here? If used, there should be signs as a preventative measure. I asked Peter Eisler and Tony Sanchez of NVE about this, and still waiting a response. A carcinogenic should not be near where water from lawns can be dispersed, where kids play, people walk barefoot, dogs pee, as this is absorbed through dermal contact. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Stebbins?
Yes, my name again, Tim Stebbins, and I live in Henderson, and thank you for the opportunity to make a comment at the end of this meeting. And I just kind of like maybe to reiterate or clarify my position or my request. I believe that any concerned homeowner should be able to have an analog meter if they feel that is in better protection of their family and property. It's not on the agenda today for this commission to amend or change its order that people must pay hundreds of dollars extra in order to have that privilege. I hope that that can be brought up at some future meeting and addressed in a professional way to the benefit of the homeowners and the consumers in this state. Thank you very much.
Mr. Stebbins?
My name is Patty, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Customer Operations at NV Energy. I simply wanted to comment this morning that the company has reviewed and understands staff's petition, and that our process is underway to gather the requested information. We've complied with all other requests for information from other regulatory and public safety organizations, including the recent review undertaken by the State Fire Marshal. First and foremost, the safety of our customers, employees, and equipment is our #1 priority. We are working with forensic experts, the State Fire Marshal, local fire departments, as well as the manufacturer to determine the best course of action to take going forward. While meter damage can be attributed to many things, we have collected data on damage in consumer meters since beginning the program in 2010. We are also familiar with other issues experienced at other utilities and are looking at all the variables that may impact us during our service territories. We look forward to sharing with you and our customers historical data and new information as a result of our ongoing review, as we have again recently with the State Fire Marshal. Once we have results in conjunction with you, we will determine whether and to what extent changes will be made. Again, our primary concern is the safety of our customers and ensuring a path forward that will both provide confidence that the meters placed on homes and businesses function as desired and that all concerns are addressed. This is something on which our team at NV Energy is very focused throughout the organization and has been since the program began. While we have not